Hi guys. This might I think it's working. Hello, hello. I'm a little bit early. Hi. I know I'm a bit early, but I thought I haven't done a live in quite a while. So I think it was time. I always love I love your screen name because it really feels like that sometimes, for sure. I am good. Thank you for asking. I am well, surviving. Surviving, and I feel like my plate is not just full at this point, it is overflowing. And I'm trying to figure out how to create more hours within a day. Oh, welcome. That's amazing. Welcome, welcome. No weirdos allowed. Oops. Hmm. Miranda so nicely speaks how terrible they are. Yeah, I mean, I try to. It's funny how you think you sound versus how you are perceived, right? Because I do try to always, uh, when when presenting any bad news, I try to smile and I always try to find something positive. And my goal, the way I think it will come off is okay, it's a always like a little bit of positivity in a challenging situation. But no, I guess it's not always perceived that way. Hi, where to buy my first truck? Penske Schneider truck paper. I have bought trucks from truck paper. I also know there is a Facebook marketplace. Although a lot of those are private sellers, I have bought a truck from Facebook Markets place, which was through a dealership that posted there. Um, but yeah, the thing with Facebook Marketplace is you're going to have a lot of private sellers that will not be able to finance if you're looking for financing. Market is trash. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's funny because since we're only a flatbed carrier, I actually, I spend a lot of time just learning the market for the equipment type that I'm operating. And I know that there are better market areas for flatbeds. It's just getting to them and staying within those market areas is so difficult. It's a good problem to have. That's the name of my trucking company. My first name is Faith. Oh, I love it. That's amazing, Faith. Uh, Thanks for doing these Q&A videos. I'm wondering what accounting software do you use for business? Okay, so I actually use kind of two. For any bookkeeping in terms of keeping track of everything, expenses and income, I use Airtable, which I built myself using their Airtable system. I built my own TMS, but for invoicing, I use QuickBooks. So I kind of use two. Hello. Oh, you're also a flatbedder. Yeah, flatbedding right now in this weather is crazy, especially if you're in the Pacific Northwest. My God, there's a snowstorm coming. And again, it's just crazy. They close down all the roads. Everything requires tarps. Oof, loads are heavy. Hi, Saya. Saya Facts. Love it. Hello to everybody. Say no to cheap freight. Yes, that is true. Say no to cheap freight. There we go. Avoid Schneider. They sell the junk. Their shops don't fix. Okay, yeah. I've never bought a truck from Schneider. I know that I, for some reason, have a very bad association with Schneider. I don't know why. I don't remember why, but there is a reason for it. Like Schneider is associated with something bad or not safe for me. Sorry, guys, just one moment. Oh, what's going on? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I have one guy who's delivering right now, and I just need to make sure to send everything. I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me for just a moment, and then I'll get back to your question. Okay, I'll start with this. I mean, I'll get back to. My God, my technology is not working. Government focused non English speakers, and I think that's not the problem. The problem is brokers. No, I think there is a problem. I'm going to disagree with you on that one. There is a safety issue with non English speakers, not because of, it's not, I'm not in the same boat as some folks who are have a very strong stance on immigration. I understand them, but then again, I am an immigrant myself, right? An immigrant turned citizen for a while now. But English and trucking, it's important for safety, in my opinion, because being able to read signs, being able to understand the officer, forget about the shippers and loading and everything, but just for safety, I think it's important to have enough of an English comprehension and understanding in order to be able to stay safe. Like, so what is an example? I can't think of one from the top of my head, but there's so many signs that keep you safe and that keep everyone else safe. I'm sorry, guys, just one moment, please. I just have to do this. I love it when I start a live. That's when everything starts happening. um, okay. I love when that happens. Cool. I know I'm being a very bad what is it called? Host. Okay. Hi, Ian. Flatbed is good. It can be very manageable. I would argue it's manageable if you are in the Midwest or the South for sure. But the moment you enter into the West Coast, it becomes very, very difficult to find a decent load. So unless you're willing to go from West Coast to a more dead area in the West Coast. So yeah, just like that. Okay, I'm done. I promise I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Done, done, done. Okay. I used to run a box truck business for 2 years. Sold at the end of 2022. Want to get into tractor trailer now. Hire a driver. Is now a good time. I can dispatch myself and can dedicate 2-3 hours per day. Mm, yeah, so I know a guy who does that. I know a guy who is doing ridiculously well in this challenging market. He's hiring folks, and the thing about him, it has to do with business acumen, I think. Something that he has, I wonder if he's watching, but something that he has that is incredible is there are people who are book smart, right? And then there are people who are street smart. He's very street smart. He knows how business works. He has managed to completely um, reinvest everything into his company instead of into his own, personal things. And he's doing really well with hire drivers. So it just depends. There are not a lot of people like that. He's killing his debt constantly, and that's because of how he reinvests into his company. I hate these kinds of. Ugh. Van is too flooded. Yeah, Van is too flooded. Van is too flooded. I'm doing the market update graphs, and I actually found a way to see the average rate per mile based on truck stop data. It's crazy. And I mean, from like a specific place. So it is crazy what's happening with dry vans and reefers. Yeah. Hi, Miranda. Buying a truck and trailer for 3 years. It's a reefer. Am I getting a good deal? 775, is it per month? For truck and trailer? Cash is fine, but I'm a little bit afraid from Facebook. No, I completely understand. Yeah, when you buy a truck from Facebook Marketplace, it's best to have some mechanic, or someone who can check the truck for you, do a VIN verification on the truck, of course, and just check everything. I know that I do have some experience with Facebook Marketplace. We sold a reefer trailer there. Um, and yeah, people come with computers, they have mechanic friends coming, and that's the way to do it. It's correct. It's the correct way. Truckers need to negotiate rates. The brokers are panicking now. I'm watching cheap loads sit. Yeah, I'm seeing that as well, but not everywhere. I saw more of that in January of 2025. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I'm going to just, you know what? There we go. Um, I am abundantly freaking frustrated because being unemployed from the trucking industry for quite some time because of this crappy market rates. Yeah, no, I completely understand. I think everybody is some level of frustrated right now. It's really challenging. It's really challenging. I only work for small trucking businesses that pay 1099 payroll. Got it. Uh, Run flatbed, haven't hauled a load since before Christmas. The market has been terrible. Interesting, Brian. I actually, being a flatbed carrier myself, I have noticed a little bit of a different thing. I noticed that November and December were really, really bad. January was pretty decent, at least for us, although I don't know if it was a luck thing, but we were finding good paying loads. Um, and we actually, yeah, we had a really good result for January. February started getting worse, and March is we're seeing a different problem. But it has not so much to do with the market as how I book freight. Our gross went down, but our rate per mile went up, and that's because we're just focusing on those shorter runs. Even Premier Group is bad. My truck is down again going on 3 weeks because nobody knows how my steer axle is supposed to be built. Crazy. I know. So I completely understand that. It's the worst thing because when you take your truck into a truck shop, you know that it could be forever. For Freightliner, it's like that. We have a Freightliner dedicated truck shop not far away from us. And we went there and it took them, I don't even remember, it was some small thing. Took them 3 weeks. It's crazy. I'm a rookie right now, and the way everyone is speaking about trucking now has me a little bit worried if I picked the wrong career. Junior, you know what? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a hard industry. Right now, it's a hard industry in general, but right now especially. But the piece of advice I can give you, I don't know how you're planning your operations, whether you're getting your own MC and DOT number or whether you're working as a company driver. But if you do have your own truck and trailer especially, I recommend leasing on to a good carrier because that way at least you know there is income coming in and you can pay fewer, I mean, your insurance is going to be cheaper through that carrier than if you started new. Left LA yesterday. I don't know how y'all do it. Yeah, no, the roads are bad. Everyone's angry here. It's mm, interesting. Um, I'm a carrier and a driver. What do you think about dispatch services? Any recommendations? I'm looking for one. So I don't have anyone to recommend, but I do know that there are a lot of people competing in the dispatching field because it's not just the United States. There are also folks from other countries, and they usually dispatch for a smaller rate, right? There are a lot of people too. The ones I heard of was like Ninja Dispatch, 360 Dispatch, I think it's called. There are some I've heard of, but I have never used a dispatching service myself. I have always done my own dispatching. So No one to really recommend. Best truck to buy is a pre-emissions truck that you can pay cash, manual transmission with a Detroit 60 series engine. Lower your risk. Love it. Um, Arkansas laws are in effect. Uh, Arkansas, you mean the bill? I don't think it's in effect yet. No, I think it's just a bill that needs to go through its process. But yeah, they are trying to kind of crack down on immigration through trucking, that's for sure. Crazy traffic in LA for sure, it's horrible. And the speed limit doesn't help. Oops, when do we hope the market will be okay? That's a fantastic question. I think the market is seasonally going to get better starting in the end of April, beginning of May, seasonally. In terms of the foundation, I am not sure, but I know that something must be happening. And I actually am planning to mention it in tomorrow's video. Question for you guys, even though I'm quite behind. Let's see, I am quite behind. I'm so sorry. Question for you guys. So we have noticed a pattern over the past week. Now, we have a completely normal CSA score. Do we have some out of service orders? Of course, but we have a normal CSA score, nothing crazy. And over the past week, just one of my trucks was stopped 3 times. Now, it works in our favor because those inspections were all violation free, no violations. So that goes, towards the CSA score. It makes it better. But it's so strange that one truck 3 times in 1 week. And I'm wondering if this is happening to anyone else. I would understand if we failed some audit or we were caught with some crazy violation before and they're just checking you over and over again. I would understand that. But that's the thing. We don't have any crazy violations on our CSA score. It's just like randomly in 3 different states, 3 different inspections. Are you using a TMS for your own business? Yeah, but I built mine using Airtable. You're so welcome. Always check your tires, 100%. What lanes do you prefer from someone from SoCal area that has dry van and wants to run for 2 to 3 weeks at a time in this market? I actually cannot tell you lane information for dry vans because I haven't been working actively with dry vans for a while now. But I do think I need to check. You know what? Tomorrow in the market update video, we're going to take a look what's going on in California. California is definitely not on the top 5 where more loads goes from the general market to the spot market. That I know for sure. But in terms of lanes for the dry van, yeah, not 100% sure at this point. Per week. Did I miss a question? Oops. Do you think a dry van is best, or should I target something else like reefer or flatbed? I think there's pros and cons on every single equipment type, on every single trailer. So the pro of having a dry van is it's the cheapest equipment type to operate, right? It's the cheapest to buy or to finance. It doesn't require a ton of things like securement rigor. You need what are the load bars? You need maybe some straps, but nothing crazy. But dry vans are oversaturated. So there are a lot of folks who go to dry van first because of the ease of purchasing a dry van. And the most loads go on dry vans. There are also more loads for dry vans, but because of the competition, yeah, sometimes the rates are not going to be the best. Reefers are the pro of reefers is that the rate is higher than for dry vans. There's not as much competition. There are not as many loads though, but there is also the reefer that you have to pay for, the reefer fuel, I mean. So that's an added expense. Reefers are more expensive. I believe they're the most expensive trailer type to buy right now. And of course, the possibility of claims if something happens with your unit and it's not holding the temperature you want. Flatbeds, flatbeds themselves, you can find a decently priced flatbed, but the thing is the securement equipment, right? Tarps, chains, binders, straps. What are they called? Tarps. Um, geez, I'm forgetting. Coil racks, pipe stakes, headache racks, all of that. That's where a lot of the cost comes from. And things like tarps, which are super expensive, they will rip here and there. Sometimes when a broker will tell me, oh, it's a tarp load and it's just some kind of sharp metal, I will tell them your load does not pay enough for me to get new tarps after this. So yeah, with flatbed, it's interesting. Plus the risk, of course. The risk is you're in charge of securing that load. So if something falls out, it becomes a problem. Hi, is doing factoring referral business beneficial? Honestly, I don't know. I know I have the RTS factoring, but the reason something you will notice is I have done just a couple of sponsored, I think two, yeah, two sponsored videos. And these were companies that I actually use, that I have experience with. You will notice that I do not advertise. I get emails almost every day, someone offering some kind of, let's sponsor this, sponsor that. For me, the most important thing is talking about companies that I know. The reason you see RTS factoring there is because I have used them from the moment we started, which was in 2019, and I absolutely adore them. We started with their fuel card, and then we started factoring with them. Yeah. I'm okay with netting 1,500 to myself as the business owner per truck. Got it. Any platform for dedicated lanes? Not that I know of at this point, but I work off the spot market. Um, how are you guys dealing with this? Parked my truck 11 months ago and it's still parked. Yeah, one step at a time, I think. One step at a time. You take a step forward and then 5 steps back, and you hope that at the end of the month you're still at least a millimeter ahead of where you were a month ago. It's insane. Yeah, the problem with this business right now, it's not predictable. I see zero truckers utilizing X to make a statement. Wake up, guys. X as in the platform. Funny, I started just using it. I'm still not used to it though. I'm trying. I thought you were a reefer carrier. I was a long time ago. We became a flatbed carrier a while back, only flatbed. Is it possible to grow a trucking company working only with shippers? That's the preferable way, because when you're taking out the middleman, which is the broker and the dispatcher, to be quite honest, yeah, you get more money in your pocket and you actually do get to build relationships, which is not possible if you're working with brokers, unfortunately. Although there is one broker I have built an amazing relationship with. I adore him. He's incredible, but it's harder to build a relationship with brokers than shippers. The thing is, a lot of shippers, it's hard to find them. And number two, it's hard to sell yourself to them if you have a small operation. W-2, 1,500 in a week in the bank, small company driver. Got it. Um, I should have listened to my wife when she said to park it 3 years ago, but I didn't listen. I should have, because I would have had more money not working versus working. Yeah, I hear a lot. Yeah, and unfortunately, this is kind of the common consensus. I also saw an interview recently. I don't remember which one it was, but basically the interviewer said that when you get into the trucking business, a lot of people get into it and say, just for a couple of years, and then I'm going to make my money and I'm out. When you get in, there is no easy way out. And that's true. My family had a trucking business with about 15 trucks out of Houston. Local mostly. Manager recently got sick and ran the business almost by himself and asked me to help. How do I get up to speed? Oof, that is a loaded question. I have a lot of questions for you to be able to answer that question. If you want to shoot me an email, it's talkabouttrucking@gmail.com. I'll gladly answer. I just answered so many emails today. So yeah, I'm pretty much up to date. Uh, what is your average rate per mile for a week for flatbed trucks if the trucks work 7 days per week? I'll have to check. I actually don't have it right now, but this week has been a little bit better. I know that. It has been a little bit better than before. I also calculate deadhead miles. Yeah. One thing I'm noticing, by the way, but this is where the problem lies. From the East Coast, a load from the East Coast to the West Coast will cost a ton of money. And the rate per mile is finally sometimes $2.24, if you can believe it. Now, yeah, for some of you, this is low, but this is for a long run. I haven't seen something like that in a while. However, there is a problem. The rate per mile, unless you're doing super short runs, what the rate per mile will show you is what area you're going to. If you're trying to get out of a bad area to a good area, the rate per mile is going to suck. If you're trying to get from a good area to a normal area, you can get a good rate per mile. We have done like, what was it? I don't remember. See, I'm not logged in there. I think our highest was something like $5 per mile recently, but that was a short. It was like 500 miles. So it was a good gross and a good rate per mile, but those loads are rare. I would say our average right now is around $2.28 with deadhead. Yeah. Shout out from Central California. Shout out. Central California. That's uh, the Bakersfield, Visalia area, if I'm not mistaken. It's beautiful there. Um, What are some of the best brokers to work with a 3-month-old MC? Valid question. So they have changed so much now that I know that TQL works with new authorities. That one I'm sure of. I don't think that changed. Everyone else has changed their requirements. But actually, Truck Stop, and I think I mentioned this before, Truck Stop has started offering a filter. Like when you search a load on their load board, you have a filter to search by authority age, and it will show you which brokers will work with the age of your authority. Although it also depends on whether the broker provides that information to Truck Stop. So sometimes you won't see any brokers just because they haven't provided that information yet. I hear a lot of people saying leasing through a company is not good for drivers. It only benefits the company. So I made, you're talking about lease purchase. I made a video on that just recently. So I do have that video if you want to watch it, but there is a difference between leasing onto a carrier and lease purchasing through a carrier, right? But yeah, lease purchasing, they're trying to remove that program altogether, although I don't think they'll be successful. There are a lot of predatory carriers who use that to their advantage, and the driver ends up with nothing, unfortunately. um Ian, I do not have unfortunately, I do not have recommendations here at this time. Do you see a market on the weekends? We're in Northern California. It depends on the equipment type. When I was a reefer carrier, I mean, when when we were operating reefer trailers, yeah, you could often find loads on Saturdays and even sometimes Sundays. With dry vans as well, with flatbeds, it's almost impossible to find a load on a Saturday or on a Sunday. So that's why you will see, especially in the open deck space on Friday, people start panic booking because they know that if they do not book a load on Friday, they're stuck without a load the whole weekend. Yeah. Oh man, guys, first cigarette of the day, that's great. I used to, I mean, I still have my um still a bad habit. I used to smoke cigarettes. I remember that feeling. uh so I can't recommend which states to run from Los Angeles, California, just because I need to know what kind of equipment type. But in my market update, I usually go through which areas are moving right now for each equipment type. So tomorrow I will upload it. So I hoping that will be helpful. I've been working with a dispatch company in Pakistan. It's cheaper than the ones here in the States, and the service is even better. You know what? I'm not surprised. A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that, not specifically Pakistan, but just in general. They talk about dispatchers overseas, saying that it's a really good service. So interesting. I have had 3 inspections in 6 months, problem free. Yeah, see, that sounds a little bit more, even though even that is a lot. We don't get that many roadside inspections, but just this week, 3 in a week, it's crazy. Have you ever considered being a military contractor? You mean military loads? Yeah, I have. Those are my favorite loads to haul. I have considered it. We can, I mean, with my guys, yeah, we can do it. I just need to find the I yeah, basically short answer, yes, I have considered it because they are my favorite loads to book. Military is the best, kindest people, easiest loads, and usually no tarps. Nice to see you too. Um, I'm a carrier planning to sell my company. Any recommendations? Thanks. I do not have many recommendations. I know I do see a lot of people trying to sell MCs. I actually also, I was talking about the interview I watched. I saw an interview that in order to really be able to sell your company, you have to show the operations were clean and good and everything. But I don't know much about selling the company because I have never considered selling mine. So I never had to do research on that. 2 to 3 weeks, waste of time. If you're OTR, you should be out 2 to 3 months. I mean, to each their own, I would suppose. That's definitely the case with our operations, but yeah, I think there's the human factor. Some people just can't. It just starts really getting to them, being in that tin box. Oh, hi, Arthur. Good to see you. Rate is crazy. San Francisco to New York City. To New York City, 5,000? That's horrible. My goodness. I'm paying 775 per week and all my fuel. 775 per week. And this is truck and trailer, you said? Oops, what did I do? 3,100 per. If it's truck and trailer, in my opinion, again, this is up, but everyone will think, their own thing, but in my opinion, that's not horrible. I work as an owner operator full time and OnlyFans part time. To each their own, whatever floats your boat. Logbook HOS abuse is being brought to light by the drivers. DOT has definitely caught wind of this. Maybe that is the reason for the frequent inspection right now. Perhaps it is very possible. And I know that the inspection blitz this year, which is happening in May, it's going to focus on hours of service. Yeah. I got caught for a third lane violation, then got 11 level 1 inspection. 12 inches from the 70-mile-per-hour snow lane. So safety first doing inspections. Yeah. Safety first always. I agree about the safety first always. Out of the country vacation for 2 months. You're so lucky. I'm not jealous at all. Enjoy your vacation. I haven't been keeping up with things. Have the rates been going up for dry vans? No, they have not. You'll actually see if you watch tomorrow's video, the rates have been actually decreasing and decreasing and decreasing, not just for dry vans, but for reefers as well. There we go. Dry vans keep going down. Exactly. Uh, interesting. I just got this. I got a similar email just today. In what state is it more advantageous to start a trucking company? Which one is your favorite? I have heard, I have always heard that Delaware is the most business friendly state. So that's the one I'm going to recommend. Uh, any suggestions on good places to buy used trucks cash? There's so many used trucks dealerships. Again, if you have cash and if you have someone if you understand the trucks and you can do your own checking of a truck, Facebook Marketplace. Be careful though. And there's so many different used truck dealerships out there. The one I know is Truck County of Illinois. That's where we bought our used trucks a few years ago. Yeah, just be careful there. You have to check those trucks because yeah, they were good. We bought good trucks from them. They just had too many miles. I always recommend buying slightly fresh trucks, especially if you're going for Freightliner. Um, with TQL, I booked a load and then I also back load with them. That is TQL. Interesting. Yeah, sometimes I mean TQL works for some people, which is great. Again, to each their own. Um, yeah, a lot of people have strong opinions about TQL. But again, everyone has their own business and everyone has the opportunity to run their business the way they see fit. And sometimes, it works with a particular broker. And I will be a perfect example. That gentleman I was talking about who has extremely fantastic business acumen, who's doing very well in this market, he has a favorite broker that he works with, and it works for him. For me, it doesn't. Anytime I book a load with that broker, there's always an issue. So it's interesting. Oh, 100%. COVID rates are not, I'm not going to say never because as they say, never say never, but I really highly doubt that that kind of boom is going to happen. And I think that's a big misconception in this industry is people are waiting for COVID, for a COVID like freight market to come back, not realizing that that was not a normal market at all. Ah, I see. I didn't finish your question. Then TQL canceled my load, and reason is because I give two phone numbers. Seriously? Interesting. See, I went on a whole spiel, and then, yeah, unfortunate. Yeah. I would. I'm not so okay. Again, I try to teach from experience, so I'm not familiar with cargo vans, sprinter vans, hot shots, box trucks, just because I don't have experience in it. And unfortunately, there is no data specific to those equipment types that's readily available that I could research. But in terms of what do you mean? What do I know about a small fleet? For example, reefer. Oh, cargo van reefer, is that what you meant? Yeah, unfortunately, my experiences in tractor trailers, 48 to 53 footers. Fun times ahead, yes. Absolutely. Can I pause my insurance if I'm not driving for the next 2 months? The rate is so bad. You know what? Nothing will surprise me. My insurance company would not allow me to do that. I know because my insurance company is one of those that it takes forever to even remove a truck. You could have sold the truck 3 months ago and you're still paying for it on insurance, the money is returned back to you. So it depends on the insurance company, really. Averaging 833 per day this week. Local box truck can't complain. Yay, BTC Tracker. Love it. I love when folks are happy with their results or are content with their results because there's so few people right now who are satisfied with how their operations are going. So it's good to hear. Oh, there we go. If you park your truck, call the insurance company to only cover parked. The cost will be $100 per month. There we go. Thank you, Fosman, for answering that question. Um, Can you suggest some good, reliable companies who provide trailers on rent with economical price? Yeah, I mean, the one that I absolutely love is TNT in Villa Ridge, Missouri. I believe, they have flatbeds, step decks. I believe they have Conestogas, and they used to have dry vans. I'm not sure about now. I don't think they have reefers, but yeah, I really, really like TNT sales of Villa Ridge. Or these. There we go. Thank you. Um, I'm making it a life mission to help eliminate chemtrails and brokers. That is wait, what is a chemtrail? I have never heard that term. I do not have a class on how to tie down loads on flatbeds. I should ask one of my business partners, although they will send me to hell if I were to ask them to make a video. They're very private people. But that would be an interesting thing because I know that they're really good at all of that. May I ask why not a Conestoga instead of a flatbed? Absolutely, you may. The reason I was looking into a Conestoga, but the first thing that turned me off on a Conestoga is the fact that the rent for it was 3 times higher than just a regular 53-foot flatbed with two aluminum boxes, toolboxes. I mean, two toolboxes on the side. It was insane to me considering the fact that the market, yeah, Conestoga loads can sometimes pay better, but there's not much to choose from. And on top of it, yeah, I get that there's not as much competition probably, but the way Conestogas are built, if you happen to haul a load that is pokey, sharp, and it rips that Conestoga, it's just a pain in the butt. So that's why we decided not a Conestoga. We wanted a 53-foot flatbed to make it more versatile. So is anyone making anything right now? I'm so discouraged. Our customers are making us compete with cheap brokers to save 5 cents a mile. 5 cents. Years of service means nothing. Yeah, no, people are making something. Again, like I said, I know he's an acquaintance of mine, and I look at him in awe because this is a gentleman who has figured out the trucking industry in the business sense. What he does is something that I think anyone wants to do but cannot do it because either they have a family or basically he reinvests every single cent pretty much into his company, and by doing that he's reducing his debt, he's getting rid of certain payments, and he's able to expand. So he's doing interesting. He also does a lot of oversize though. Yeah. There is still trucks from Canada and Mexico competing for loads. Absolutely. You mean the B1? Yeah. Trucking is getting destroyed by the illegal non-English speaking. Yeah, I mean, For some reason, I really don't like the term aliens. I don't know why. I'd prefer immigrants. But I think that has to do with the fact that I also come from an immigrant background. Um, yeah, I can see that. I can see that absolutely because it increases competition. Like the B1 folks that are not supposed to haul throughout the US, they're competing and then they can take cheaper rates in order to because the labor is cheaper, right? So yeah, I can absolutely see that. The thing that worries me is definitely the safety because again, like I said before, being able to, maybe you don't speak great English, fine, that's okay, but understanding English well in order to understand those signs and the officers, it's important for safety. No, I do not have a CDL. I really wanted to get one, and then I didn't because I told the story so many times. I am afraid of heights, and when I sat in a semi truck and we were driving, I nearly had a heart attack because of how high it was. I was sure the truck is going to fall into a ditch. So, I mean, I could get a CDL. I would never use it though. Um, I literally found an Instagram reel of a broker encouraging new carriers in their field and said that there's plenty of room for more. He was making back. Hold on. Broker. Oh, that there is plenty of room for more carriers? Yeah, that's a mean thing to do. That's terrible. Ski drivers are the new cheap meals. Yes, we do have a maintenance schedule. We do keep up with it, give or take a couple thousand miles. But yeah, absolutely. Maintenance schedule is important because if you don't maintain your truck, eventually it's going to break down and it's going to cost you time because it takes forever to for the shop to fix it and money, of course. So maintaining is a much better idea. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go through some questions that I haven't answered yet. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Unfortunately, right now, the power is in their court for sure. Um, YouTube truckers are the worst. I have a question. You know what? I hear this very, very often. Why? I've heard that YouTube carriers and truckers have ruined the industry, and I understand that. Like during COVID times, I also have seen videos of people like saying, "Come in, come in, come in." There's so much money to be earned, but why are YouTube truckers the worst? Thank you, I appreciate it. Um, okay, this one I haven't answered yet. I started a trucking company and am about to apply for my authority. Is this a good time to start a trucking company? I plan to lease box trucks to start. Is this okay? Ah, so you're leasing your trucks. You're getting a new authority. Where are you planning to get your loads on the load board? That is my first question. Or are you leasing on to a carrier? Well, you're going to lose. Yeah, I again, I'm going back to your question. Those are my questions. Uh you're leasing your box truck. What was my other question? Are you leasing onto a carrier? How are you planning to get your loads? This is my big question here. Thank you, Trucker by Choice. Miranda, thank you for all you do for the trucking community. If anyone is looking for a simple TMS, try Carrier Nest. Interesting. I'm going to try. I have actually never heard of it. I need to check it out. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Um, What are the interesting? I really like this question. What are the main reasons trucking is considered in a bad state right now? Main reasons right now is number one, overcapacity. There are just way too many competing trucks for way too few loads. Number two, and it's secondary, because this was not the case in 2024, load volumes have started dropping, right? So load volumes are going down. Capacity is also going down for the most part because we can't really consider, this is going to sound really mean, but new authorities that come into this industry, you can't really consider them as much competition simply because, especially if they're planning to work off the spot market, brokers have put such stringent requirements in place that most of those new authorities will not be able to compete with someone who can work with pretty much any broker, right? They'll be limited to certain brokers. But yeah, volumes and capacity, even though capacity is decreasing, it's not decreasing fast enough. And another reason is, even this was true in January, even when it was prime time to start negotiating, people are so used to the market being bad that they have a hard time negotiating. They think that if they negotiate, they're going to lose that load and end up sitting. This is a very big problem I'm seeing constantly. Yeah. Yeah, basically. Tequila is 100%. Um, Sergio, dispatcher from Eastern Europe, heard just good about our dispatching, and yeah, we're cheaper and better. Love it. Mm. Um, why carriers don't promote dispatching, as the dispatchers act as their helping hand and making, a lot of carriers look at dispatchers as just another to, I mean, excuse my word choice, but a lot of carriers look at dispatchers as another mouth to feed, right? So, yes, I agree that a good dispatcher can be a very, very big asset for a carrier, right? If they have the ability to negotiate, if they know certain brokers that they have worked with for a while, if they provide some additional services. Yeah, a good dispatcher can be a very, very helpful thing. But considering the fact that everyone is a dispatcher now, there are a lot of dispatchers competing. Considering the fraud, yeah, unfortunately, dispatchers don't have the best name in the industry among truckers right now. When you're shopping for insurance, do you run it through a broker or can you go with insurance directly? You can sometimes go with insurance like Progressive. Progressive is one of those where you do not have to have an agent to sign up with them if they approve you. But some, like Benchmark, the one that we use, yeah, it requires an agent. All right, let's see. I've been OTR for months and I refuse to go home. I love it. If you're being serious, I'm sorry, it's hard to read whether it's sarcasm or being serious. But if you actually love it, that is more power to you. You already have an advantage. In this market, because a lot of people, they can't handle it. They can't handle it and they need to go home, and I understand that, but more power to you. That's amazing. Considering some of the comments, it's clear some drivers are not aware of what the cost per mile is to operate their truck. Don't you offer a workshop on this topic? I do. I offer it in the dispatching course. I offer it in the trucking management business course. I don't remember if I offer it in the carrier course, but I offer also, I have a video on cost per mile. So yeah, I agree with NeoVox. Love your name. I agree with NeoVox that you must know your cost per mile. This is the foundation of your business. Otherwise, you are operating blind. Very, very important. And I'm actually going to mention something else. There was one person who reached out to me with an interesting question. I understand that question. Do you include your personal expenses in the cost per mile? And the way I explained it, if you want to know the health of your business, no, you have to include everything that's related to your business in that cost per mile, right? Ba-da-ba-ba-bum. Prime will push to leave then if they have to let you go, or if you want to quit, then they can turn around and lease the same vehicle to another person. Be careful. Yeah, lease purchase programs are a nightmare, from what I have heard. The issue with brokers is any legislation needed to pass to eliminate them always takes money. Congress does not work for free. Yeah, I don't think if that's the only reason that brokers are that they're hard to eliminate. Suggest any way to do right market analysis in trucking business. I'm not fully sure what you mean. Market analysis, like the market updates. I do. Oh my god, I thought it was an earthquake. We had an earthquake a week ago. No, less than a week ago. It was fun. Um, no, as I said before, I do not have any courses on how to do securement on flatbeds at this time. Okay, let's see. I'm falling so behind that I'm going to quickly skim through and answer new questions. Again, all of this is recorded and then uploaded on YouTube so anyone can rewatch. Um, do, 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 do. Yes, okay. This one is just important to highlight. When you're starting a trucking company, cash flow, it's important in every business. It's super important in the trucking industry. Without proper cash flow, you're done. Um, TQL is good if you have a factoring company. Actually, the one complaint, and I always say this, the one complaint I do not have about TQL, the one thing that they're good at is paying at the 28-day mark, from what I remember. They have never been late in my case. So I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Uh, how's the job market for company drivers? From what I see, it's still very competitive, but the rates that are being offered by carriers are going down. They just can't afford more. Do, 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 do. Okay, let's see. Hmm. Hi, the market I'm told is not happening in Washington. I'm stuck with a reefer. Is there any truth to this? Let's check it out. I love these kinds of questions. Hold on. Washington, the state or Washington, D.C.? And where in Washington are you stuck, AJ? I'm just curious. Okay, so if it's Seattle, Washington, yeah, there are no loads within. There's one load within 150 miles, and it's over 9 hours old, going to Boston, Massachusetts, and pays $1.73 per mile. If you do an extended search on like Seattle, Washington, then there are 8 loads within a 250-mile radius, none of them paying over $2. The lowest is $1.04 and the highest is $1.73 with deadhead to Boston, Massachusetts. So yeah, Washington is definitely not happening, my friend. It's a mess. I can't believe Washington for reefers. Yikes. Uh, let's see. What is going on in the chat? My God, usually we have, and it disappoints me, honestly. Usually we have such a positive chat, and then someone comes in just attacking someone else, and it becomes like a whole toxic. All right, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna ignore it. Okay, I recently have a new entrant audit as a new carrier. I take loads from another carrier, which is double brokering. The audit asks for how I obtain the loads and request shipper and broker info. First of all, I'm very surprised that an auditor would ask about how you obtain the loads. But yes, what do you mean? You, as a new carrier, I take loads from another carrier. Double brokering is something that you should not do, if I'm understanding your process correctly. Okay. Do, 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 do. Conestoga's reduced loading times. Yeah, I can see that for sure. Sorry guys, if I'm skipping through your comment, it's because I'm super behind and I'm trying to answer new questions that I haven't answered yet. So please bear with me. Be careful. My boss told me he had delivered a load and never got paid. The broker disappeared. Yeah, this happened to us 2 years ago or 3. I don't even remember when. But yeah, this happens a lot. Be careful. Always check the broker you are working with. And sometimes something else that happened to us is it was a normal broker with a normal credit score. Everything was fine. Everything matched to the safer web. When it came time for us to get paid, they went out of business. And this was an intrastate load, Nevada to Nevada. So we did not cross state lines. And when that happens, the bond does not work. The bond is regulated by the federal level, which is interstate. So always be careful. Speaking of which, speaking of brokers going out of business, something that I have noticed is about, I would say, 20% of brokers that we were working with no problem in January have been downgraded by RTS. We can no longer work with them because they are no longer factorable. This market is hitting everybody. Ah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, totally understand. So-called YouTube truckers because supplement their income from YouTube revenue, but they make it appear that all that income is from trucking. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane how much. What is the correct term? How easy it is to bend the reality, right, on YouTube. The reason I say this is I just recently, if anyone is interested, I'm sorry, I'm going off topic. There is a new documentary about what's her name, Ruby Frankie. I didn't even know she had a YouTube channel. It's on Hulu. It's basically she was like the mom of America on her YouTube channel, and she had a ton of subscribers. Now she's sitting in jail for 30 years for child abuse. It's crazy. But yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Absolutely. Oh, I wish, yeah, I get this, Jonathan, I get this question every single live, and I always have to disappoint. Again, I have no experience, first of all, with market tanker and car haulers, but what's more is I cannot find the data for those specific equipment types. If I do somehow, or if there's data available at some point, I will include them in my market updates for sure. Uh, True. Overcapacity, high insurance, horrible drivers, and broker cheating is why trucking is crap right now. Yeah, no, absolutely. This is true. And high insurance is because of nuclear verdicts, which hopefully are going to slow down. Overcapacity is just people are resilient. Yeah, yeah. Oh, nothing is coming up for carrier nest on Google. Yeah, this is to the gentleman who said carrier nest is a good TMS uh, system. In terms of power only, we never had to do power only. There was a moment where we were thinking about it seriously. The rates from that time, they were not great. And also the trailer interchange insurance that you have to have. We didn't have it, so we didn't even end up touching it. But the rates is something that I, yeah, I was not a fan of with power only. Answered this question already. Job market is still competitive, but rates are going down. Let's see. Mm, Yeah, so I like this I like this comment because this is exactly there are two I would say there are two different groups of people in the trucking industry on the actual trucking side. Those who have their equipment paid off and those who don't. They cannot sit if they don't have their equipment paid off and they're tied to that truck with chains with those monthly equipment payments, the physical damage insurance that is required on a finance truck, all of that. They are not able to just sit. But yeah, for someone who has paid off equipment, they can wait it out if they have some side thing that they can do while they wait for the market to get better, for sure. Most brokers won't work with you if you have progressive insurance. Interesting point. I wouldn't say most brokers, at least not in the flatbeds. I keep forgetting, Arthur, which type of trailer do you run? But on flatbed side, not there are brokers that won't work with progressive insurance because progressive doesn't cover a lot of things. Um, but I would say that a majority do from what I have experienced. There are just some that don't. Mm, how much are fuel loads going for? Oh, fuel loads. Yeah. Is anyone here familiar with this? Does anyone know what the fuel loads are going for right now? Because I'm not. I am not in that niche. Hmm. Are you then saying that truckers should be in hope with the new government to rise the number of loads out there so things can get better? No, I did not say that. I tried to stay away from any government topic because again, it's everything is so everyone it's just a mess right now in terms of the how people judge each other based on that. In terms of what's going to happen in the future, I don't know. I don't know because what is happening right now, just I'm looking at it objectively. What is happening right now, it depends on how people react to it, right? So the future to me, I don't like predicting. I don't know what the future is. All I know is that seasonally, end of April, beginning of May, things should start getting a little bit better because the load volumes increase, although capacity might increase as well because those who park their trucks, they might jump back into the market. Mhm. Uh, let's see. Uh, Workers' comp insurance and the cost per mile. Of course, any business expense is calculated in the cost per mile. Absolutely. All right, guys. I'm gonna do about 2 more minutes, and then I do have to run. Unfortunately, I'm actually running a little bit late, but it's okay. 2 more minutes, and then let's see. Let's pick some new questions. Du-du-du-du-du-du. I'm gonna go to the bottom just because mm, Love it. Killer for cash with the most. I love your question. I just love your questions. What flavor e-juice are you partial to? So the one I use, I can't believe I am showing this on YouTube. Get banned. This one. I absolutely love it. And this one is the, I believe it's the, oh, sweet tobacco. Sweet tobacco Cino. Random question. um, um, oh, oops. Have you ever thought about being a model? No, it's not definitely not my cup of tea at all. Yeah. All right. One more related to trucking. Mm. Oh, I'm always ready for your random questions. I love your questions. Thank you, Killer for Cash. I always appreciate the 7.77. It's a lucky number. It's amazing. All right, let's see. Why I promised one more question about. Okay, there we go. Saya, what criteria do you recommend for hiring drivers? Your driver hiring practices will depend on your insurance. Usually insurance companies, and I'm just talking about most of the time, usually insurance companies will not allow you to hire anybody who has less than 2 years of a CDL. In terms of my personal requirements, I don't look at their history in terms of, we used to call it job hoppers in recruiting. I don't look at that because this industry, definitely driver retention is a big problem. So that I don't mind. The things that I care about is what kind of schedule are they looking for, because it has to match, right? If this is someone who's looking to be home every single week, it's not going to work with our operations, unfortunately. That is something I'm looking at. I'm looking at experience. Of course, I will look. I get them to sign a document saying that I can pull their MVR. I look at their history, and my last step is always insurance. I always tell the story of a gentleman who I really liked. I interviewed him. He was great. He had the experience. He was fantastic. I send the CDL to insurance, and they say no. I'm like, why not? He has a ton of driving experience. Everything is good. He had a speeding ticket in a school zone, and that was it. So insurance should be your first point of contact when hiring drivers, because they are the ones who can agree or block you from hiring someone, right? So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry this live is a little bit shorter. I do have to go because I'm running late, but hopefully I'll make more live videos, although yeah, I'm falling behind a little bit, but I'll find a way to make more live videos. We have the market update coming up on tomorrow. Sorry, my brain's not working. And then the top trucking news on Sunday. Thank you guys for joining and watching and making this fun as always. And if I didn't answer your question, shoot me an email. I did answer a lot of emails today, so I'm pretty much updated. Again, thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning. See you in the next video. Bye, guys.